YouTube just destroyed countless of quote-unquote problem channels. By ref, I have no idea. I have no idea what that means. I'm hopefully not a problem channel. That'd be quite sad. However, I do know. So here's the fun fact. YouTube warned about this, by the way.
Hey, what's up, guys?
You get your rewards, ref. Also, please consider liking and subscribing. I appreciate it. Every little bit of support matters and counts. The thing is, and it is crazy, okay? So, the thing is, people, the thing is, apparently, the governments across, especially the EU, want to make it so that hand-picked channels get more exposure by the algorithm than creators. That is a bill, a law that they want to propose. I have no idea where this is gonna go. Even YouTube warned of it, that this cannot happen and should not happen. And we'll see. We'll see. Poker, why is it she embarrassed being a Jew? Because Jews aren't particularly liked in some places. Anyways, we'll go in. We'll see what they did again.
Here. So this is going to be one of those videos where I'm going to be going over some serious problems going on with YouTube as a platform, including some issues that are having a profoundly negative impact on a lot of channels right now. And as always in these situations, I'm going to do the best thing I can do, and that is help spread the message about what's going on. So hopefully we can get to the bottom of this. And you guys can help spread the message of this video by extending its reach in the algorithm by doing the usual stuff, including liking the video, dropping a comment, subbing, all of that stuff. And also you can spread the message the old-fashioned way by spreading around the link and all of those things. So what's going on here? Well, over the past couple of weeks, dozens of channels have been unfairly demonetized. Now, when I say demonetized, I don't mean just some of their videos. I mean their entire channel has lost its monetization, which of course has led to many people losing their entire livelihood overnight. And all of the channels we're talking about today.
So, apparently also what I've seen is that there's somebody out there who is striking reactions to Outdoor Boys videos. There's somebody out there who goes after people, specifically, by the way, targeting VTubers. So yeah, there's another new things going around. You need to be a huge criminal or double your sub by 100 so people fight with you. So it would seem. Luckily, I'm a small channel and I have not been demonetized, so that's good.
Today have lost their monetization for the same exact reason. Inauthentic content. To put it simply, YouTube is looking at these channels and telling them, we're not going to monetize you because your content to us is so auto-generated and devoid of human involvement, you're basically an auto-generated slot mill that we do not want to place ads on, or at least give you credit for, okay? And if you just take a 2-second glance at these channels, you'll realize they are in fact authentic and run by humans, but all of these channels would appeal this decision, and every single one of them was rejected. Ironically enough, from the automated YouTube system. They're automated.
I had this problem a while, right? So okay, right. Was banned for 7 days. Or well, not banned. I was restricted from streaming for 7 days because I reacted to a video that's still, by the way, on YouTube that the AI falsely flagged me for. Okay. So far, so good. The chat feature with YouTube support is completely useless because the support is AI. Yep. There is not a single way to contact a human unless you do it through Twitter. If you don't have a Twitter, you cannot talk to YouTube in any way, shape, or form because you will always just be talking to an AI. Next thing, right? I find it crazy that they basically restrict you for something that you didn't do, and there's no compensation with it. For it whatsoever. None. The crazy part is, right? I had to appeal, and I did appeal, right? And my appeal was rejected in a minute, meaning that Not only was I fucked by the AI looking through my video, I was also rejected by a second AI because I can guarantee you there was no person that rejected my appeal. It's crazy, right? It's crazy. I was nuked by AI twice because the second review is not a human. It is not a human review. No human can look through a video after in 1 minute. That is not happening. That has never happened. Sue YouTube or anything is possible. I'll justify it all. The problem is somebody in Europe has sued YouTube, won in court, right? And hasn't gotten his channel back. You cannot sue YouTube. You don't get anywhere.
Moderation system that looked at this and said, no, we're rejecting your appeal. And of course, YouTube, in its smugness, is still to this day claiming that these rejections of these appeals were done by human review when in many
They were not. They were not. No human is reviewing your video unless you actively go after them on Twitter. There's no email you can contact. The chat is just a bot. And that bot doesn't... See, the crazy part is, right? The automation feature punishes you, right? Whether justified or not, I do not know, right? And then you ask why and how long, right? They cannot give you an answer to that. They do not know. The robot punishes you and the robot does not know how long and for what, sometimes. But certainly not for how long. It's so interesting.
cases, it would be just downright impossible to have come to that conclusion. But this sort of shift towards AI moderation is something that YouTube is prioritizing, especially under its latest CEO, who has made it very clear that when it comes to moderation of the platform, AI is going to be a big part of it. Now, some of that is necessity, right? It's a massive platform with infinite content. There has to be some sort of automation. But YouTube is trying to cut corners and cut costs, and they're basically allowing automation to take over everything involving moderation of their website, including the termination of monetization and stuff like that. That's really impacting people. Now, the related rule was actually given an update, sort of, back in July of last year, where this whole authentic content requirement was specified. Now, of course, this sort of standard of authentic content didn't really change in 2025. They were just clarifying it. So nothing really changed. If you are someone just making content with any sort of human involvement, you're going to pass the bar on this.
Well, yeah, that is what you would think. But how would an AI be able to tell? How would an AI be able to tell whether or not what I'm doing here, right? Why would an AI be able to tell if a VTuber is authentic or not? That's the thing. It's crazy, right? It's crazy. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think this is all a failure. I think YouTube should go back to hiring real people and have real people check something, right? Because it's just too faulty.
Requirement. In fact, in July, they would clarify that authentic content includes AI. Like if AI is a part or even a major part of your content on YouTube, they will still consider it authentic if there's some human involvement. But in this case, with these channels we're talking,
Doesn't this like AI is not created? You still have to do something to create AI content, even if it's just writing a prompt. Does that then now already classify as human involvement? That's why this rule is stupid. Doesn't make sense.
talking about, not only are they being labeled inauthentic, these channels are clearly run by humans. Like, we don't have to get into the argument about how much AI is involved in these channels. A lot of these are just straight up regular channels, commentary channels, and they are very diverse in the type of stuff they cover, but they're all getting hit with the same exact reason for their channel demonetization. And here's some examples. The Broken Crown Political Podcast, hit with demonetization. A music channel, same thing.
That's interesting. A music channel. Huh.
Here, a comic book channel, same thing. Gaming channels hit with this. In fact, here's an interesting one where a live stream channel who is not even active anymore.
Interesting. Well, you two think and act the opposite, so it would seem. Okay, where did Summox go? Did you finally eat her? Yes, yes, I did. She was incredibly tasty.
Was hit with this same inauthentic content rule that demonetized that related channel. Now, the most recent example just happened right before recording this video, where the VTuber Sin also had their YouTube channel demonetized entirely. And Sin is someone who is on the Side Scrollers podcast, makes appearances there, just like me and my wife do every 2 weeks. So this was a pretty shocking thing to see, because if you look at their content, it's just a regular commentary VTuber, right? Like, they are a very real person using a VTuber model in this case, but there's absolutely no way a human being looks at this channel and thinks it is auto-generated slop with no human involvement. Like, it's completely ridiculous. Now, look at the response by YouTube, Team YouTube on Twitter, to some appeals by Sin, trying to get a human to review this. Team YouTube says this: "Thanks for sending this our way."
Mass-produced or repetitive content. What would mass-produced or repetitive content even mean? Like, let's say I upload shiny hunting videos. A ton of them. Every single day. Because for some odd reason, I just get super lucky when I shiny hunt something and... is that repetitive?
Inauthentic content refers to mass-produced or repetitive content. This includes content that looks like it's made with a template with little to no variation across videos, or content that is easily replicable at scale. And you can see 0 likes on that, because people are disgusted that content creators have to do this. Because this requirement for authentic content, the bar is so low, and the fact that very real channels have to fight to get their monetization back because of this rule is insane and very...
It's also like, listen, okay? It's also like, listen, okay? So the problem is also that, like, people were hit with getting, like, their AdSense account just obliterated, by the way. I don't know, I think Kitanero is fine now, but there was a period where her AdSense account was just deactivated. Because her account was flagged with, for some odd reason that she supposedly did, like, ban evasion, right? But, like, she didn't have another account that was banned. That's another crazy thing, right? They just don't give a shit. Okay, sorry about that one. Not a big deal. I will, however, touch you tonight. That will be a big deal.
very frustrating, to say the least. And what you just saw on Twitter there is unfortunately what content creators have to do in these situations. You can't rely on your contacts at YouTube. In fact, getting into contact with a human being at YouTube is virtually impossible.
It is a warpath. It is a warpath. If you don't have Twitter, like I said, if you don't have Twitter, you can't in contact with a human, right? You can't interact with a human. Wait, you know where I live? Yes, I do. You can't interact with a human. The chat support is completely useless. They don't know what's going on because they're an AI. If you tag them on Twitter, an AI will respond. You have to actively annoy them to the point where they will actually send a human towards you. It's just, it is a hassle. There's no email you can contact. There's nothing. If you get fucked by YouTube, the only thing you can hope for is that when you tag them on Twitter, that enough people see this so they can call them out, because otherwise you will not be heard. You cannot contact them. There's no human working at this company. It's crazy. Hello. Welcome back, Zamax.
I don't even care who you are. You could have millions of subs. It still might be extremely hard for you to find an actual human being to look at your current problem. And in this case, you have layers of automation. So people do what they've done for years, and that is go on to Twitter and tag Team YouTube, their account there on Twitter, and hopefully try to work it out. I have had to do that multiple times. And that has fixed a lot of issues for my channel over the years, because if you make enough of a fuss on Twitter, you might get lucky.
Yep. If you make enough noise, that can help you. Right? If you make enough noise, that can help you. It's crazy. And you need to make a lot of noise. Remember when Shoonhead made the video about this dating app, quote unquote? Right? I think if you know, you know. And multiple channels were struck when they reacted to this video. And it took right? The girls that complained, it wasn't enough. It took Shoonhead to make sure that that YouTube sees this. It took Shoonhead. It's interesting. Anyways, that's what that was happened when they hold all the power and you don't just depend on the mercy. True. YouTube receded some problems to my Iranian queen. She responded a bit by saying, if you want to check it out, problems. Yeah. You have to actually like give them a taste of their own medicine. It's just there's no just not getting around it.
And they will reverse or fix whatever's going on with your channel. But the fact that you have to go to Twitter is very frustrating. And also, to put this out there, when it comes to Team YouTube on Twitter, like, try to give them some grace, try to be polite. It's much more helpful when you're being polite when contacting them, even if the answers are ridiculous, because they're dealing with a enormous amount of people trying to get into contact with them, because unfortunately, like I said, this is the best route for a lot of people. Now, let's look at the typical process here, because there are layers upon layers of automated moderation here. Let's look at this example here, right? This was one of the channels that was demonetized. You can see them reporting on Twitter saying their Broken Crown podcast was demonetized for inauthentic content. And they got a lot of attention on this post, to the point where eventually Team YouTube would respond and say, check your DM for an update. And eventually, the demonetization was upheld and the appeal was rejected, and not even working through Twitter was working at this point. But then you would see they would continue the effort, and people would continue trying to fight on their behalf, trying to get YouTube to take yet another look. And they would clarify here too, ironically enough, that despite rejecting their appeal, the view count on the video didn't change, right? Nobody actually watched the video in question that was being appealed. Like, it just shows you how inauthentic this moderation system is, which is extra frustrating because the appeal system.
That's why many are saying, yeah, you need to be on multiple platforms, because these people. See, we could change this. But that would take big creators and a lot of creators to force YouTube into submission. It would take, right? It would take, at this point, a political effort to change this, right? Where they have to absolutely be transparent about this. They just never are. They just never are. They cannot even tell you what the problem is most of the time, because this AI system is flawed.
They say the appeals are held or reviewed by humans, which clearly they are not. But eventually, enough of a fuss was raised on Twitter to get this channel's monetization restored. But that's sad. It's sad this is what it takes. You have to literally go to Twitter and raise a significant level of fuss to get a simple problem fixed. If anybody looked at this situation, they would realize in seconds that this rule, whatever they were hit with inauthentic content, was completely unwarranted. Like a 3-second look at their channel, and that is the case with everyone we've looked at today. But the fact that this is all the steps you had to take, and there were so many big channels that were supporting this case in particular, like, it took a lot of effort. We shouldn't have to get to this point. And there's some other things going on here that I thought was interesting. This channel was one of the many hit by this inauthentic content demonetization. And they pointed out in their analytics that the second they were deemed inauthentic, and you can see this is their analytics since the beginning of this year. So pretty regular, pretty consistent.
Inauthentic. Oh, we have grown. Whoa, look how inauthentic. We suddenly managed a little bit of success. We had a growth spike because we blew up. And it obviously makes people so inauthentic. Prime example for freedom today. Yep.
Until they were deemed inauthentic. Then their views spiked up. And at that point, keep in mind, it's not that the channel and all the videos have no ads on them. There's still ads, by the way. It's just that the revenue goes to YouTube. That's a very important thing to keep in mind, okay? Like,
that's another thing that should be pushed. If you want, if I lose my monetization, then I don't want ads to play at all on my videos then. Because I'm certainly, you essentially steal, right? This is technically stealing, isn't it? I would call this stealing. This is essentially stealing. You get it till you find out someone strong on the field can take it anytime. Yep, that's how it works.
YouTube is still profiting off of these channels they're deeming inauthentic. They're just making it so the channels themselves, the owners, can't get a cut of the revenue. And I find it very interesting that the second they're deemed inauthentic and all of the monetization and the benefits of it shifts to YouTube, all of a sudden it starts performing really well in the algorithm. Isn't that very interesting? But of course, there's a lot going on here. As pointed out in this tweet, everything YouTube has been doing over the last year or two has been about maximizing profit for shareholders and paving the way for the Hollywood takeover of the platform. They don't.
Yep. Apparently, there's some stuff going on with Hollywood. Apparently, the Hollywood stuff is coming to YouTube and will be shown on YouTube. So like these awards and shit. So yeah, it's kind of crazy. What happened to broadcast yourself? Good question. We do not know.
Care about most of us. Most creators are more trouble than they're worth. And that is the brutal and honest truth. YouTube really hates pretty much probably 99% of your favorite content creators because they're more trouble than they're worth. YouTube wants to continue to pivot over towards a television live streaming slash subscription service. Like they want to be a version of Netflix or cable television or all the above, right? They want to be friendly to the entertainment industry. They want Hollywood to think nicely of them and to want to work with them. That is their focus. You know, YouTube, their motto in the beginning was broadcast yourself. Like it was all about content creators. We know that's not the case anymore, okay? That has been a very dead motto for probably over a decade at this point, but it's becoming more apparent than ever. They want the automation. They want the little guys taken care of and out of the picture in some cases so they can make way for the entertainment industry and all of the bigger and more profitable businesses, right? But It's a Gundam here would make a comment saying YouTube is going to get worse. They are replacing people with AI at an alarming rate after forcing them to train the AI. I have spent the last 4 years advocating.
Yeah, right. Imagine, okay? Imagine this, right? You work at a company. Hmm? You work at the company. And they train the AI on what you did. That's diabolical. Also, commercials, garbage decision for us. The crowd would have instead of understanding it. Yeah. The problem is, man,
We're cooked. For channels behind the scenes wrongfully affected by a broken system by bringing proof of issues to actual humans, but now I think it's over. I've lost privileges. I guess I challenged the system one too many times in my last act of defiance, trying to get Kino Casino unbanned, which is a whole nother can of worms that we've talked about on this channel. And someone says, wait, you had privileges, and Gundam says, according to them, when I got the boots. So, yeah, there's definitely some very unfortunate things going on, and the shift over to AI is going to be one that's going to continue to snowball and get more and more involved with this platform. And it's not looking great, guys. Like, there's no other way of putting it. It really doesn't look great. And for YouTube here on Twitter, posts like this saying your perspective is your best asset. That is their latest tweet from the YouTube creators account. And it's like, man, I don't think you guys want to hear our perspectives anymore. And this is just another reminder that things are completely turbulent on YouTube. And if you want to support creators,
It's like it's like maddening, right? Every single time YouTube makes a post, by the way, on Twitter, they just get ratioed into the ground. I mean, look at it. 440 replies, 808 likes. Like, do you not see anything? Who is managing the social media account? Probably AI, honestly.
like myself, you can do so directly through YouTube while we have all of these things in place, like monetization and the ability to even upload videos or live stream. And you can do everything from, liking and subbing and all those things. And if you're really out of your mind, you can do things like super thanks messages and all that stuff and come to my live streams and all those things. But in terms of me, for
Yeah, that's literally the best you could do is like super things, super chats, memberships. Honestly, if somebody has a Ko-fi, just do that. Legit, just like you gotta, if you want to support a creator, you gotta do it through uh different. You gotta do it through different means. That's all there is to it. Legit, like that's the only way. That is the only way.
shilling, I mean, I will tell you the same thing I tell everyone else in terms of content creators. It is to diversify, try to have as many things going on as possible. Don't put all of your eggs in one basket. And for me, my portion of this video, if you want to help out on my latest Ooh Market plushie campaign, you can see the official Rev
Apparently, Kirsche has a plushie. I looked at it, but like, yeah, Kirsche has a plushie. Just so you guys know, the Porsche exists.
plushie right here. Look at that 360 view, looking good. We're just shy of 300% funding on this campaign with over 6 days left. I will put a link to this in the pinned comment. Support on campaigns like this is huge for channels like myself, and also I've been working on my Patreon this year. Again, Patreon isn't perfect either. They have plenty of issues, but again, it's about diversifying your sources when it comes to content creation. And I've been uploading Patreon exclusives over there, and I'll have a new one up either today or tomorrow. So if you want some extra content as well as another way to support the channel, again, I'll put a link to this page in the pinned comment. Be sure to check out these campaigns and anything else going on with the channel or your favorite channels as well. The point of today's video was to spread the message about this so you guys are aware, and if you want some more advice from me, it's supporting the creators you like through the ways I just mentioned, but also helping them out on Twitter. If you're noticing these things going on with these accounts and they're spreading the message on Twitter, that is the best way to help. Unfortunately, helping them spread the message and being persistent about it is the best thing you can do in these situations. It's an uphill battle. It's tough, but you know what? You got to do what you got to do, and that is, unfortunately, as far as I'm concerned, the best way of trying to come to some sort of a way to solve what's going on here, because clearly there's a lot of errors being made by YouTube's automated moderation system. But anyways, that's going to do for this video.
Yep, that's it. The only thing I can say is that at this point, it's probably going to get worse, honestly. You would also take 30-50% of super chats or all donations for the channel. Fucking thieves. Kind of, yeah. They take 30%. They take 30%. I'm pretty sure. Twitch does 50. Twitch does 50. Twitch is even more greedy. They will take 50%. YouTube does 30. I think that goes for super chats. I think that goes for memberships. I think that goes for ads as well. I think it's 30%. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. Anyways, yeah, that's the end of the video. All I gotta say is, if this continues, we're gonna run into a problem. That's why I hate the. So we is like crazy, right? Susan, horrible CEO. The Schnoo guy, horrible CEO. Let's see what the next guy does. Maybe the next guy is gonna be a lucky pull. Who knows? Absolutely atrocious.